One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart, steel, and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels, ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow, he takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report he paves his way. More legend in the making, day by day.
Shit, we all made it to Thirsty Thursday, man. Hopefully everyone's enjoying their freaking morning so far. I know that we are. I have had a great morning so far, and I just got off of the little show with Carney's Ride as well as Moto Bombman. They're awesome over there. I love hanging out with those guys. They're super chill. If you guys haven't gone over there already and subscribe, you got to do that, man. They show a lot of love and support to the channel over here, man. So, ladies and gentlemen, we got a lot to get through today. We have only one story from 11 hours ago, meaning overnight. And then all the rest of the stories are within the last, 2-3 hours, some within the last 30 minutes. So I have everything lined up ready to go. But the way that I have this titled is Trump-Putin is in-person meeting confirmed, as well as Trump tariffs take effect, the reciprocal tariffs go into effect, and a little side note, India just got bumped up to 50% on their tariffs from Trump, I believe, 2 days ago, or yesterday. It was yesterday, I think. Nonetheless, it was right after I got off the show, and I was like, damn, I wasn't able to announce that, but I did in the Discord. But yes, the tariffs went up to 50% because India's buying Russian oil. In turn, they are funding the Russian war. And of course, that's their BRIC alliance over there. So why wouldn't they support their own shit? And so, yeah, you're going to see a little bit of, Anyways, then we have some the Texas redistricting updates as well. I may or may not get heavy into that at all, but we do have some interesting stories in between all of this. The very first, thing we're going to present today is Operation Trojan Horse. In LA immigration raid leads to multiple arrests, and you guys will see them you may have even seen this on social media. They're in a U-Haul, in the back of a U-Haul. The U-Haul, opens up and it just scatters. It's pretty wild to watch. And we got President Trump reciprocal tariffs take effect. Like I told you guys, that'll be our second story, and I'll tell you guys what countries are involved in that. As well as the Trump-Putin meeting agreed upon in principle, the Kremlin says. So we're going to, go into that as well. As President Trump, lawmakers react to Fort Stewart shooting. We have that lined up ready for you guys, as well as 2 arrested in a $640,000 gold coin and identity theft scheme. And last but not least, Trump tariffs rebate checks for Americans. So regarding these tariffs, are we going to be seeing some sort of compensation as Americans? Now, some will argue this should be going to our debt, but some will also argue this should be going back to us because we're the ones that get tariffed at the end of the day. We're the ones that pay the difference. Yes, the companies on the other side have to do some other bullshit and maneuvering, but in turn, it boils down to the person that buys it, whatever it is. So there's an argument there as well. Anyways, before we get into all of the madness of today, man, make sure you guys come in and hit that like button. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. You know what else is free? Is hitting that subscribe button if you guys are also new, man. Please consider becoming a member, however, starting at $2.99 a month, making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody. But check it out. This is how we get to speak freely the way that we do and actually be able to fund this show. Otherwise, if I'm relying on ads and shit like that, I'd make like $150, $180 maybe a month. So it's because of you guys that I'm able to do what I'm able to do. You know what I mean? Side note, follow my Instagram right here at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time. And listen, this is a great place where I break news, all of that kind of great shit. And it's a great place for one-on-one connection. So follow me over there. We also have a Discord server. Make sure you guys join up in that. We have the invite in the description box of every single video. So make sure you guys join up on that, where we continue the discussion after the show. And last but not least, all right, every super chat, super sticker, gifted membership signups, all of these things are going to be presented live and, shown and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms scrolling for the remainder of the show. And of course, I'll shout you and your message out. I have it ready to go. Like I've been telling you guys, I'm going to be on top of this shit when it comes to Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, because listen, if I'm reading it 20 minutes late, people are going to be like, well, I'll just super chat so he actually sees it. No, I've got it ready to go. Always. I've got it in my face, blasted. So good morning to everybody. Great to see everyone. We got Papa Penguin as well as brother Beezer, old Beezer Geezer. Good to see you, my man. We got Steve as well as Path Killer. We got Code TV, my man. Great to see you as well. We got Rabbit of Chaos. Good morning to you. We got Charles Darwin from Down Under. So for him, it's morning too, but it's like 1 a.m. Friday. So good to see you, kind sir. Great. Always appreciate you. And yes, make sure you guys hit that like button, man. It helps out immensely. We got Brother Beezer gifting out a membership, making it rain already, my man. I appreciate you, kind sir. You're the first one of the day. Very much appreciate that. Helps out the show immensely, by the way. We got Brother SNS in here. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far. We got Carney's Ride as well. Good to see you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We got Prez as well. Good morning. We got Junkyard, man. We live, baby. That's right. Good morning to you, kind sir, as well as Lappy. Good to see you. We got Tolga. Nice to see you in here. It's saying just sub, mate. I very much appreciate you hanging out with us this thirsty Thursday morning for us. You might be over there. If you're using the nomenclature, mate, you're probably over there in the UK. We got Trigger Warning, my man. Good to see you as well. We got Rob's neighbor. Good morning. Good morning. Johnny Reno over there, my man. Great to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning. Shit. That's right. Tiffany Lance. Good morning. And Robert Demita. Great to see you guys. Thank you all so much for your contributions to the show. All right, we're going to get into the craziness. Papa Penguin real quick. Coming in for the 19 fucking months, by the way, saying shout out to Lee Lance. Heal up quick. Absolutely, man. He had surgery on his hands yesterday, I believe. So, yes, very much big shout out to him. He's a warrior as well, and we're always got him in our prayers, Yes, sir. Appreciate you, by the way, Papa Penguins, for the 19 months, man. I'm very honored by that. Thank you. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the madness. By the way, I'm not going to be rushing through this, but I do have to keep this show under 50 minutes. Unfortunately, I do have a haircut appointment that I couldn't schedule for even 30 minutes later, been booked up. So I'm going to have to keep this around 50 minutes because it takes about 30 minutes to get there, and that'll be right there on the time when I should be getting my haircut. So anyways, let's go and get into this. We're going to go into Operation Trojan Horse first. Regarding the LA immigration raids lead to multiple arrests.
And welcome back here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andrew Kraft. Thanks for being with us. What a busy Wednesday night it is. So let's get to more of these top headlines.
Turkish. Hell yeah. And you've been poisoned by your British friends. Yeah, I heard that.
Before the break, there are some emanating from Los Angeles on illegal immigration. Take a look at this. Gorgeous view there as the sun sets over the city of Angels. But
this is the only update, by the way, from last night. I guess this was 11 hours ago. Everything else is as of the last 3 hours.
I have to get you up to speed. Take a look at some of this video here. This is what we know.
Man, we don't have supercuts here, man.
Department of Homeland Security today carrying out an immigration raid dubbed Operation Trojan Horse in L.A. It resulted in multiple arrests there. Take a look at that. It happened around 7 in the morning in the area surrounding a Home Depot on Wilshire Boulevard near MacArthur Park. Video
What's up, brother, sick bastard? My man, good
showing
morning.
several agents bursting from the rear of a Penske moving truck.
So did you guys see that? As soon as they open up that, well, I thought it was a U-Haul truck they originally said, but whatever. It doesn't matter. It's the same shit. Look at them scattering, man. As soon as they open up that fucking door, oh man, they're out.
Out an immigration raid
Watch them run
Operation Trojan Horse in L.A. resulted in multiple arrests there. Take a look at that. It happened around 7 in the morning in the area surrounding a Home Depot on Wilshire Boulevard near MacArthur Park. Video showing several agents bursting from the rear of a Penske moving truck and running toward a group of people near a sidewalk food stand. So the crowd scattered when they saw...
What's up, Scrambled North? Good morning.
Federal agents, a DHS spokesperson confirming 16 undocumented migrants from Guatemala, Mexico, Honduras, and Nicaragua were detained here. So our colleagues there at Fox 11 in Los Angeles, including reporter Laura Diaz, they have more on this story. Let's listen.
He was in a
Penske.
They came in a Penske, literally. The back door opened and they got out. We were all scared. That's how one...
That's not a new... Oh, it is a Penske. There it is. You can see the shot from another angle. There's the Penske truck. That's how I moved here. I didn't even use U-Haul. They were way too fucking expensive. But Penske, they beat them by like, I don't know, like maybe $800 when I moved. It was $5,000 to rent the fucking truck one way because every single truck was being used to get the fuck out of California. And they weren't getting their trucks back. So they're like, man, we can charge an arm and a leg, literally, no pun intended, for these damn trucks.
Immigrant worker described the early morning terror at a Home Depot in the Westlake District of L.A. Wednesday morning when DHS agents arrived in a moving box Penske truck. According to DHS, the targeted operation was called Trojan Horse, ostensibly to arrest members of the notorious MS-13 gang. But witnesses said those arrested were not felons, but simply men looking for a day's work.
So they're claiming on the, well, I guess their friend's side, saying, no, they weren't doing anything illegal. These guys are just looking for honest work. But immigration, ICE, is saying, no, these guys are felons. They're part of MS-13 and shit.
Images of federal agents in pursuit of undocumented immigrants spread on social media.
Gunpowder
the
nitro.
DHS said agents arrested 16 people who are in the U.S. illegally. About 4 miles away in Boyle Heights, the raid was on everybody's mind.
Listen to these. What a bunch of... I mean, this just is cope, bro. Anybody that fights to have people come to our country illegally, break laws, and then you're the one standing up for them, you're the fucking retard, dude. Like, this is crazy. Let me go and give a special sound effect for this room right here that I'm feeling right now. Shit. All right, back to this.
As they held a news conference that included government,
What's up, Jack?
business,
Good morning.
and labor leaders. Leaders have been hoping raids would stop after a federal judge's order affirming that immigration cannot racially profile people to target immigrants. Mayor Karen Bass was there and weighed in on the video she saw of the morning raid.
From the video and from the stills, it looks like the exact same thing that we were seeing before the TRO. We have the legal remedy. You know I can't physically go out there and stop them. You know that the federal government is the highest level authority of our land. You know that. And so to me, the best that we can do is we can stand together as Angelinos. We can resist this.
Acting U.S. Attorney Bill Asaley posting a statement on X. In part, it read, the enforcement of federal law...
Shit. You know what? I got you guys. I got you. Stand by for this.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking...
Shit.
is not negotiable, and there are no sanctuaries from the reach of the federal government. 12 hours after the raid, people gathered here on the streets of the Westlake District to talk about what had occurred this morning. They said it was very important to remember that you have rights and to stay the course. I'm Laura Diaz reporting from the Westlake District of LA for Fox 11 News.
Laura, thanks so much. I want to show you this. This is a statement from Penske.
So how many were arrested? Is there a specific number? I mean, they didn't say it in the report. Maybe it is down here. The operation happened around 7 a.m. in the area surrounding at a Home Depot on Wilshire Boulevard near MacArthur Park. The crowd scattered when they saw the federal agents. A DHS spokesperson confirmed 16 undocumented migrants from Guatemala, Mexico, Honduras, and Nicaragua were detained. So 16 people from this raid.
They posted on social media. They say this: the Penske truck rental is aware of recent reports and videos regarding a DHS operation in Los Angeles, saying Penske strictly prohibits the transportation of people in the cargo area of its vehicles under any circumstances, saying the company was not made aware that its trucks would be used in today's operation and did not...
Shit, you know the rules. You know the rules. Shit. Only the homies actually know what that fucking is. Man, Buck is the best.
Authorize this. Penske will reach out to DHS and reinforce its policy to avoid improper use of its vehicles in the future there. So had to get that on your radar.
Okay, so I don't know if we'll get any more updates regarding that. Sounds like it was done and over with. Boom. Now we'll see a whole bunch of COPE sessions around the country. We will see that. You're going to see, for instance, like Mayor Kare Bass coming out from Los Angeles, having a whole COPE session. I mean, I don't understand. I just don't get why anybody would ever sit there and support someone coming in to the country illegally. So you're backing up an illegal plan. Like, that's crazy. And did you vote for this? No, I didn't. I didn't vote for this. That's what's crazy. When I lived in Los Angeles, last year, I never voted for any of these fucking people. Crazy, bro. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into the next ordeal here regarding the reciprocal tariffs. They take effect today. We got Stephanie up at the building. Good morning to you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your Thirsty Thursday morning. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next ordeal here. Bam.
Good morning, and thank you for waking up with us here on Live Now from Fox. It's Thursday morning, August 7th. I'm Jeanne Francine here with you for the next few hours to give you all of your breaking news alerts, top stories, and your live events of the day. As we come on the air bright and early this Friday Eve, we are following some breaking news as it relates to the Trump presidency and, of course, those tariffs. Giving you some video on your screen as we are following the very latest from the Associated Press. They report this Thursday, U.S. President Donald Trump's wide-ranging tariffs went into effect at 12:01 a.m. Eastern time this Thursday, just as the economic fallout of what they say is his months of threatening them is surfacing in visible damage to the economy. The import taxes will reach a level not seen in the U.S. in almost 100 years, with Americans expected to pay an average of 18.3% more for imported products. AP reports that's the highest rate since 1934, according to the Budget Lab at Yale. That's a nonpartisan policy research center. AP continues to report companies are dealing with the tariffs in various ways. For example, many automakers appear to be swallowing the cost for now, but most economists say the cost will ultimately be borne by U.S. consumers and businesses.
Damn, I was hoping it would show me the list of countries that are, the new wave of these tariffs coming through. I'd like to know the exact countries. Now, it looks like they're going to be, given a statement from Trump, that breaking news as of only a couple hours ago. Let's go and hang in there.
I want to share the latest of what we know at this hour as far as countries that are being impacted by the tariffs. What we know at this hour, more than 60 countries and the European Union face tariff rates of 10% or higher. Among the countries with higher rates is India. President Trump signed an executive order Wednesday to place an additional 25% tariff on India for its purchases of Russian oil, bringing the combined tariffs imposed by the United States on its ally to 50% to go into effect later this month. And speaking of the commander-in-chief, I do want to transition.
We'll see you on the flip side, brother. Trigger warning. I see you, bro.
To share his latest remarks that he provided on Truth Social. Take a look as he says, quote, reciprocal tariffs take effect at midnight tonight, billions of dollars, largely from countries.
Okay, so this statement was actually not the last couple hours. This happened, I guess, yesterday evening or super late, like maybe like 11:30, 11:40 at night or something like that. But nonetheless, this is what he said.
Taking advantage of the United States for many years, laughing all the way, will start flowing into the USA. The commander-in-chief goes on to say, quote, the only thing that can stop America's greatness would be a radical left court that wants to see our country fail, end quote. So, of course, as we can.
So that came out late last night, but as you guys can see, oh shit, why doesn't it show it on this video? That's weird. It doesn't show like, an hour ago or whatever. But this came out only about a couple of hours ago.
Continue to follow this. More information provided by the Associated Press. They say that President Trump has used tariff threats to exert political pressure. They say President Trump has directly tied Brazil's 50% tariff on many imported goods to the trial of his embattled ally, former Brazilian president, who's currently under house arrest. The White House has placed.
Yeah, that's down there in Brazil. They're struggling pretty damn hard right now with some international relations, especially with the United States.
The tariff rate on U.S. imports from Canada at 35%, saying Canada failed to do more to arrest, seize, detain, or otherwise intercept traffickers, criminals at large, and illicit drugs, end quote. And we also know from AP that President Trump has previously pushed back the date tariffs would take effect. The commander-in-chief imposed the deadline after his previous tariffs back in April resulted in a stock market panic. His unusually high tariff rates led to recession fears, prompting the president to impose a 90-day negotiating period when he was unable to.
Well, see, people get, uncertainty in the economy. What are people going to do with their money? They're going to take the safe route. They're going to take their money out until tariffs relax and everything relaxes. But when it's all volatile, tariff, no more tariffs, tariff, no more tariff, you know what I mean? Like, or rising, lowering, whatever. It creates a volatile environment. You have to have stability. And so that's the one, I would say, very bad thing regarding the whole tariff situation. It definitely takes a hard hit in the moment. It usually takes a hard hit. But then longevity, that's what is arguable. Right.
To create enough trade deals with other countries. He then extended the timeline and sent out letters to world leaders that simply listed rates, prompting a slew of hasty deals. So this is a developing story. And
she's taking a break off of YouTube for a little bit. She announced that last night, by the way. But yeah.
We do continue to follow the very latest. We have this on your screen, courtesy of X, formerly known as Twitter. At midnight, the commander-in-chief put this out. He says, quote, it's midnight. Billions of dollars in tariffs are now flowing into the United States of America. As you can see, this is a developing story. And of course, we do plan to get European Commission remarks in the 6 o'clock hour here on the East Coast as we are following all international response. And speaking of international response, we actually have a live look that I want to bring on your screen. It's a view of the Cape Town port activity.
I don't care about that right now. We're going to go ahead and move on into Trump and Putin, their meeting, as you guys see, as part of the title, as well as I used Trump and Putin in the thumbnail. You know what I mean? Saying the meeting has been confirmed. So let's go ahead and get into that story right here, right now. I'm going to bring this up for you guys. All right. This just came out here 4 hours ago, by the way.
5:13 here on the East Coast. Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Jean Francine. Bright and early on this Thursday morning, just into our Live Now from Fox studios, we are following some breaking news from the Associated Press. You see it on your screen. AP reports a meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and U.S. President Donald Trump has been agreed to. This according to a Kremlin official on this Thursday. They also report it could possibly take place next week at a venue that has been decided, quote, in principle. We do have a quote from.
What does that mean, though? And why are they using this Associated Press picture?
President Vladimir Putin's foreign affairs advisor, he told reporters, quote, at the suggestion of the American side, it has been agreed in principle to hold a bilateral meeting at the highest level in the coming days. And speaking of this, I do want to transition to give you a live look out in Moscow, Russia on this Thursday morning. This shot courtesy of EarthCam. We're also learning, according to Putin's foreign affairs advisor, that next week is the target date for a summit, while noting that such events take time to organize and no date has yet been confirmed. Again, the possible venue will be announced a little later, end quote. We're also learning he played down the possibility of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky joining the summit meeting to discuss ending Russia's 3-year-old invasion of its neighbor, which the White House said President Donald Trump is ready to consider.
Shit. Well, you already won, Papa Penguin. I told you actually got to organize to send me your, Cash App or something that I can, because I mean, hey, I lost fair and square on my bet, it doesn't matter at this point if we were playing high or low. I know that you said 6 to 12 months, but fuck that. I said within the first 6 months he would be able to settle this shit. He didn't, so I owe you on that. You know what I mean? You won on that. You took the high route, right? I took the low route on that. And this is the way it goes. But yes, you will be getting hooked up for sure. We got Frederick Frame up in the building. By the way, good morning, kind sir. Great to see you. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning as well. We got Mount High. Yes, sir. We got our left-handed tobacco already on deck, ready to go, man. All right. Appreciate you guys for coming in. Make sure you guys hit that like button, by the way. It helps out the show immensely. I don't tell you guys to send in money or anything, but, of course, it's greatly appreciated and helps out the show immensely. But if you guys hit that like button, that's the one thing I do ask you guys to do. Listen, you don't have to like all the craziness in the world that's going on, but you guys can like it for me, my takes, and for the channel. So thank you guys.
Speaking of whether or not the Ukrainian president will be in attendance, we do have the latest remarks from Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on your screen. Take a look. He put out a few hours.
How come every single time Zelensky comes out and says some shit, he's always got to go on this diatribe? Like, look how big of a book he just wrote here. Jesus, this is outrageous, dude. Every time.
On X, formerly known as Twitter, quote, "Today is a day of numerous calls and contacts aimed at making real progress on the path to peace and ensuring Ukraine's independence under any circumstances." He goes on to say, quote, "Several conversations are planned for today. A call with the German Chancellor is already on the schedule. We'll also be in contact with colleagues from France and Italy. There will also be communication at the level of national security advisors. I've instructed that this special format take place today." Yesterday, after our joint conversation with President Trump and European leaders, I also spoke separately with NATO Secretary General Rutte and the president of Finland. We are working together. It is important to go over the key details. The priorities are absolutely clear. Zelensky goes on to say, quote, "First, an end to the killing. And it is Russia that must agree to a ceasefire. Second, a format for leaders so that such a meeting can lead to a truly lasting peace." So as you can see, this is a developing situation as we are getting.
And of course, I'll give you guys updates on this as we go. But within the coming days, I guess Trump is going to be meeting up with Putin. So we have that information there. Real quick, I'd like to address this. Steve Easy says, "It's nice not having stupid ass commercials on this channel. It's been rough on some other ones I watch." Yes, me too. I watch, tons of other creators as well. I mean, that's obviously I'm in this business and that's what I love to do is get information, right? But what is very frustrating is that's their big money maker. You know what I mean? It's okay, I think, to be able to have like an ad in between the show or something like that. Maybe one. And don't do it like some 6-minute diatribe on the fucking ad. You know what I mean? But this is way content creators rely on money because YouTube's not compensating in any other way. And this is a pull system. It's not like they're paying us to be here. You have to be able to pull that kind of money or viewership out of your audience. So, that's a great, reliable way to have money, but it is annoying. And some content creators will have 3-4 ads going on, that telling you some product that you need to go buy. But yeah, anyways, we don't have that here. Probably because we're not big enough to have any of that shit, like major ones, you know what I mean? So anyways, we're going to go ahead and run into the next ordeal here. President Trump, lawmakers react to Fort Stewart shooting. We have this ready for you guys. We'll go ahead and bring this up. And let me go ahead and read this real quick and see. President Trump and other lawmakers are reacting to the shooting that left 5 soldiers injured at Fort Stewart in Georgia Wednesday. And this was yesterday. We talked about it a little bit. We didn't know who the actual shooter was at the time, but we found out through the media throughout the day yesterday after the show that it was also a soldier. I guess it was a lieutenant, I want to say. A lieutenant? I can't remember. He wasn't a captain, but a lieutenant or something. Anyways, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on the exact title there, but he was a part of the service. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the motive is still.
15 is the time. Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. I'm Jeanne Francine. Continuing with your top stories and headlines, take a look at your screen. An active shooter at Fort Stewart in Georgia sparked a lockdown of the base and even nearby schools. Military officials now say the gunman was a soldier who reportedly shot 5 of his colleagues. 2 of them taken to Memorial Hospital in Savannah, Georgia for additional care. We want to check in now with Fox's Jared Halpern.
Right now, I am stuck on vodka Red Bulls. I mean, I've always loved them, but right now, especially, yeah, vodka Red Bulls. That's what I'm on.
For the very latest.
5 soldiers were shot and wounded at an Army base in Georgia. It happened at Fort Stewart, just 40 miles southwest.
Much love, Johnny. We'll see you on the flip side as well, man.
Of Savannah, with the shooting taking place in the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team area.
Our wounded soldiers were initially evacuated.
No, not those kind of ads, Charles. The ones where they get paid to show, hey, I have this flashlight here that was sent to me by this company, and you need to buy it. Here's my code here, and they stop everything they're doing. You can't skip those ads, you know what I mean? Unless it's on a playback video and you just skip through the video.
Evacuated to Wynn Army Community Hospital right here on Fort Stewart. All arrived in stable condition.
Good morning.
And 3 of the 5 required surgical intervention.
According to the Army, gunfire broke out around 10.
He was a sergeant. Thank you for that update there, Steve. Yes, I knew I was not correct on the lieutenant thing. So thank you.
56 a.m. with the active shooter captured 40 minutes later at 11:35 a.m.
We have identified the alleged shooter as Sergeant Cornelius Radford, an automated logistics sergeant assigned to 2nd Brigade Combat Team. The shooting occurred at the soldier's place of work. It did involve his co-workers. We're still not certain about the motivations.
Fort Stewart, the largest Army base east of the Mississippi River, is home to more than 10,000 soldiers and their families.
Damn. 10,000 soldiers and their families live right there.
The shooting triggered a lockdown of the sprawling complex that has since been lifted. Some nearby schools were also impacted.
I would also like to thank the brave soldiers who immediately intervened and subdued the shooter. These soldiers, without a doubt, prevented further capture.
Subdued? I mean, I'm guessing they shot him, right? I mean, I actually don't know.
Casualties.
Following the shooting, Georgia Governor Brian Kemp released a statement in support of victims. It read in part, quote, "We are keeping the victims, their families, and all those who answer the call to serve in our hearts and prayers, and we ask that Georgians everywhere do the same." According to the White House, the president has been briefed on the incident. Homeland Security is also monitoring the situation, and the FBI is ready to assist if needed as authorities investigate a motive. Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Shit. That is the update on that. Now we're going to go ahead and, of course, as more of these and more information comes out on these, you guys know in the following days, I always follow up on these, stories. I try not to leave things open-ended there. I try to end, and follow these stories thoroughly. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and move on into the next ordeal. 2 were arrested in a $640,000 gold coin and identity theft scheme. This happened, let's see, I have it up here, 2 hours ago.
6:43 here on the East Coast. Welcome back to Live Now from Fox. We do want to briefly transition to a news alert, keeping your safety and security top of mind here on Live Now from Fox. We've learned 2 Californians were arrested in connection to a $640,000 gold coin fraud operation. That information according to the Metropolitan Police Department. We want to check in now with Fox 5 DC's Melanie Onwig. She joins us live this morning with the very latest. Melanie, good morning to you. A lot of eyes and ears alerted to this bizarre story.
That's right, because even though this happened here in Washington, D.C., with one elderly woman in this one case, the financial crimes investigators here in Washington, D.C. believe that this is one of those tip of the iceberg incidents where it could be much, much greater underneath, perhaps even under a nationwide.
I didn't know that, 13, but I'm not surprised with that information. I didn't know that, though. Interesting.
Fraud ring. Sometime last year, this began when the elderly woman's computer crashed and she got a pop-up message that her identity had been stolen. The message said to contact a customer service number. So the alleged agents...
Real quick, we got brother Mr. Boulay, Alabama's finest, by the way, sending in, of course, on the anything regarding with gold. You got your man, the myth, the legend right here that handles, gold like a motherfucker. And he says, did someone say gold coins? Well, shit. I got some right here for you. Thank you for making it rain, Mr. Boulay. I really, really appreciate it. It helps out the show immensely. Guys, if you're interested in gold, seriously, on these kind of topics, this is the man to talk to. He's got a channel. He goes live. Go over to Mr. Boulay and the Department of Numismatics. Go over there. He's great at what he does. And he's, trust me, he's the guy that I talk to regarding gold. So, anyways, Appreciate you, kind sir, for that.
That she called told her that her financial information had been compromised. So they advised her to make multiple wire transfers and purchases of gold coins, presumably for them to keep it safe for her. She lost $640,000 before learning she's been scammed.
Damn, that sounds good, Steve. Where's
I know
mine?
it's a little outlandish, but I think we're dealing with professional thieves, professional fraudsters and scammers. They're good at what they do, and I think in this case they were very good at what they do.
It doesn't seem to that person that they're being scammed. They think they're being helped. Well, unfortunately, somebody's helping themselves to their hard work.
Yeah, they're helping themselves to their own demise, losing their money and helping someone else.
Their money in gold coins.
D.C. police say 27-year-old Amrath Vaca and 28-year-old Saloni Sheikh of Stockton, California, flew to D.C. thinking they were picking up another package from the woman containing $200,000 in gold, but they got a different kind of bars instead. Police arrested the pair Tuesday and charged them with first-degree fraud. Now, D.C. police were actually tipped to this case.
That's actually a pretty decent investment, Beezer. Buying the actual food stamps. Yes, I think that's... No, I'm just kidding, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube over there. But yeah, I hear that.
By the gold coin seller that the woman was purchasing from, because he or she, I should say, sensed that something just wasn't right about all of these transactions and alerted police. The Financial Crimes Unit is now working with the Federal Bureau of Investigation to trace all of the suspects' interactions to see indeed, Janae, if there are more people involved in this. And one thing that they just want everybody to know. Again, it's easy. These people work very hard to gain a suspect's or a victim's trust.
We know this.
And once that happens...
That's the whole scam, is getting someone's trust to send you enough trust to be able to send money. That's how that shit works. That's unfortunate for anybody that was a victim in that regarding, though. All right, so we're going into the next ordeal. This came out an hour ago, and this will be our last story because, as you guys know, I do have to wrap up and get ready for this haircut that I'm about to go do. But nonetheless, this one will last us about maybe like 6 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. But this is regarding the Trump tariffs, rebate checks for Americans. Now, I'm going to ask you guys in the chat, do you guys think that our money that we're making from tariffs as a country should be going into the debt? Like, that's what it should be paying off, is this extra surplus of this money should be going and paying off the debt? Or should this be given back to the American people? Now, I understand both sides of the argument, okay? I totally get it. I'm just asking you guys what you think. Some will say, listen, these checks shouldn't be going to people. It should be going to our country. Because of the amount of debt that we're in. I mean, it's outrageous. But one can argue that these checks should be coming to Americans because we're the ones that were affected. We were the ones, every time a tariff happens, us as Americans, we are the ones that, whoever buys the product, that's who it boils down to, is ultimately, that's who it boils down to. So should it go to the people or should it go to the debt? I'm asking you guys that.
Like to still write in. We're going to answer these questions towards the end of the interview here. But what questions do you have about tariffs or these tariff checks? Once again, scan that QR code in the top right-hand corner of your screen if you would like to weigh in. Let's bring in our expert. Joining us now is Raveen Gandhi. He is a tariff and economy expert and founder / former CEO of GMM Nonstick Coatings. Thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox this morning to break this all down for us. We appreciate it.
Oh, thanks a lot.
So I just read here some numbers. I'm going to read them again. So the White House praising these tariffs, as we've heard there. I just said, though, these tariffs have brought in $28 billion in July. But can you speak to the concern that these tariffs could be putting the cost more on the American taxpayer, the consumers, and the businesses? Can you speak to the other side of that?
Yeah. So, I built a company that served 40 million Americans every day.
That's a good point, Robert Demita.
Called GMM. And we were very impacted by the tariffs in 2018 and 2019. And I was doing a lot of media back then complaining about the tariffs, saying this is going to crash the economy, saying it's going to cause a recession, saying it's going to cause inflation. But the reality is it didn't. And so now when President Trump enacted these, I have that firsthand experience where I don't actually believe that all of the doomsday people who are complaining about these things really have it right, because the stock market is an all-time high right now. We've got companies beating earnings, and the economy's in a pretty strong place. So that's what I would say to people who are worried that all these terrible things are going to.
Real quick. So what it says right here with the American Worker Rebate Act of 2025 is tariff rebate checks would provide at least $600 per adult and dependent child, $2,400 for a family of 4. Benefit would be reduced by 5% for joint filers with gross income above $150,000. And Fox Business, tariffs have brought in $28 billion in July alone. So Fox Business reports tariffs have brought in $28 billion in just July.
Happen.
Yeah, and just on the other side of the coin here, because we do like to bring both sides to our audience here. So America.
Oh, of course, 13. But you know what's funny is definitely not my first time owning a sports car. So I'm not the same like I used to when I was a kid, when I was a little bit younger. I was always into, sitting there paddle shifting or actually shifting myself, whatever. I like being able to be in control, but honestly, I don't really do that too much now. Like I'll play with it, but then that's it. But yeah.
Americans expected to pay an average of 18.3% more for imported products, as I just shared before I brought you in here. These checks would be giving back $600 per adult. So could one make the argument, though, that if these rebate checks do happen, because, again, this is still proposed right now, how beneficial is this really going to be for the taxpayer?
Well, I think that,
So I'm not sure. I'm a very illiterate motherfucker. So excuse me if I mispronounce your name, but Mirmex or Mirmex, man, I'm so sorry. But hey, I really appreciate you and your engagement here. Hopefully you're enjoying your Thirsty Thursday morning so far. Great to have you, by the way. Appreciate you being here. Yes, I hear you. I hear you for sure. I totally get that. I get both sides of the argument. I totally get it.
As someone who has built these businesses that are very close to the consumer, what we know is that when the consumer has more capital in their pocket, there's more growth. I've seen that at GMM. I've seen that with all the recent startup deals that I invest in. And this is the key thing. This is maybe the first time ever where consumers would get a check in the mail, which is deficit neutral. This is the first time that we're talking about having money going to people that was not actually raised in our own.
All these scams are super, super scary. What SNS is talking about here in the chat. It's yeah, it's unfortunate, but these scammers are going every length. Dude, I get called 250 times a day with bullshit scam. And I'm sure that all of you guys are too. I'm sure you guys deal with it nonstop too. I mean, it's just fucked. We were just talking about this last night on the Diamond Effect, by the way. We were talking about how our information is sold and stuff like that and how they use it and how the government uses it, But nonetheless, yes, it's totally a bummer.
Treasury. So I think that that's a very important thing for people who may not even understand on Main Street, well, what is a tariff? But when they get a check in the mail, they're going to like that. And number two, when they come to understand that money actually came from foreign governments who are trying to sell into America, I think that it's going to be pretty pro-growth.
I want to talk about President Trump's recent comments on tariff rebate checks. Because, again, this was introduced because President Trump said, hey, we're looking into this. So how has this had influence on the financial markets? Has it had any influence since he has stated this?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do think that, President Trump is all about,
of course,
what I like to call animal spirits. He wants people to feel good about investing in America. Yep. And so when he gives money to people based on the fact that he made a lot of other countries blink, when you see the deals that he struck with the EU and with Japan, these are historically asymmetrical deal in the favor of America. And to take some of that revenue and give it to people, I think that it's gonna create a lot of calmness.
Real quick, we got brother Steve Posey up in the building, and he says, "Morning, Mike Ball and Breakfast Club. I get at least 50 calls every day from scammers, bro. It's such a bullshit environment, dude. It's crazy that they can do it and really get away with it, to be honest. I mean, it never seems like they ever get some sort of major punishment or caught or any of this shit. I mean, a big gold scam is going to be, figured out like how we just reported on. But a lot of these transactional bullshit like, oh, we're pretending to be the government. Click this link to pay a bill or whatever. Like, oh, you have a warrant for not paying this fucking bill or this ticket and whatever. You know what I mean? People like, oh, a parking ticket. Oh, people don't know that you can't get arrested for a parking. People don't know that shit. It gets fucking pulled up. You're in jeopardy of, whatever. They come up with all crazy shit.
In the market that nothing bad is going to happen.
How could this impact trade relations with other countries, though?
Well, look, if I am one of these rival countries right now that hasn't struck a deal with President Trump, this is going to make me that much likelier to negotiate. Because a lot of people in April, when Liberation Day, when the market sort of cratered, people thought, oh, Trump's just going to back off. But like you've said, we're at an 18% rate right now. And I think that compares to 2% last year. Trump is bringing in tens of hundreds of billions of dollars, and I don't think he's just going to turn that off. So I think that it's going to absolutely be positive from a game theory perspective. And, I'll also tell you
damn, you guys are huge W today. We got 30 in the chat right now, but we got 41 likes. That's a major W to you guys. Thank you guys for your engagement and your guys' hitting that like button. I know it's very laborious, but it helps out the show immensely.
Someone who is kind of a fiscal hawk, I wish they would use all the money to pay down the debt. But I think he's making a pretty smart political calculus here because he rode in 2024 sort of as the Main Street president. And I think that this is a way where he wants to show his base that what I campaigned on, I'm actually delivering.
So we did ask our viewers to write in some questions here. I did want to get to those before we get back to our discussion here. So let's start bringing up these questions. Thank you to our viewers who did write in. So this question we touched on a little bit earlier here.
Well, we already touched on that. We don't need to hear that one. Let's go into the next question.
All right. When will citizens receive tax cuts in place of tariffs as promised by President Trump? Raveen, can you speak to that for us?
When will they receive tax cuts instead of tariffs or based on tariffs?
Well, let's see. This says, when will citizens receive tax cuts in place of tariffs as promised by President Trump? Could you just speak to maybe what President Trump has said in terms of tax cuts?
Yeah, he has said some things that are pretty amazing if they were to actually happen. He has floated the idea of not even having an income tax.
Yes.
If tariff revenue continues.
And it would be awesome for him to actually pull income tax. I mean, every tax is fucking unconstitutional, but, I want to be careful here, but yes, it would be awesome if they just took away and did away with fucking income tax. Income tax was a thing used, I believed, in the Great Depression. I can't remember exactly. It was to get themselves out of a situation, and they promised that they would take the tax away once they reached and, were able to be somewhat survivable. Now the government relies on income tax, of course, and so that's something that is definitely not going to happen, but it would be awesome to think about if we could lose income tax completely. We are going to, here's the support, by the way, poll. There's a poll here. Do you support these rebate checks? This is a great question. 77% of the country from this vote said yes, 13% said no, and 10% were unsure of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I very much appreciate every single one of you guys for making this shit this very show happen. I'm very honored to be able to do what I do here and get to hang out with you guys. It's a huge honor to be able to do this. So, real quick, let me go ahead and make sure that we still got our buddy live that we're going to go ahead and send this raid off to so you guys can hang out and continue the conversation and hang out with somebody at least that you guys can enjoy. Let me go ahead and see. We have Black Dragon that's live, so we'll go ahead and send the live over to him. Hopefully he doesn't end right when we're sending it. So anyways, much love, honor, respect, everybody. I got to get going. Unfortunately, I do have a haircut appointment that I have to get to right here, right now. So anyways, with that being said, much love, honor, respect, everybody. Thank you guys so much for hitting that like button on the way in or out of the show, man. It helps out immensely. And hitting that subscribe button if you guys are new, man. So anyway, stick around for the raid. We'll see you guys over there. Much love. We'll see you guys tomorrow for more of the world's madness, man. Much love.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. a host with a fire burning.